Trekkie friends, I'm Stu Jackson here with Hailing Frequencies with the latest updates on the Lower Decks Strange New Worlds Season 2 crossover episode that's just dropped this week. Now, usual warnings apply, red alert. We will be discussing things that will contain spoilers for Strange New Worlds Season 2. So if you don't want spoilers, you don't really want to be watching this video. But you really do want to be watching this video if you don't mind minor spoilers. So now that that's out of the way, I think most people are aware now that there is going to be a crossover episode between Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks in Season 2. Now this week we have had, thanks to Crave in Canada, that's the channel that shows the Star Trek episodes in Canada, so thank you Crave, they dropped literally a 2-second clip from the crossover episode. How do we know it's from the crossover episode? Well, there's Pike and La'an on a transporter pad, and stood either side and slightly to the back of them is Boimler fidgeting about and Mariner looking very professional, I have to say, in their Lower Decks live action outfits, which is slightly different to the one I'm wearing. It's a little bit darker. I think the white band and black separation is a little bit lower down. Let's have a look at that clip now. And wow, that really is a blink and you'll miss it moment, isn't it? So let's hear it again, but this time slowed down a bit more. So we see Pike there. Boimler is fidgeting about behind him. It pulls back. We see La'an obviously is on the transporter pad as well. And then we get to see Mariner just behind and to her right, left as we're looking at it. And then we cut to a shot of Spock giving his famous Vulcan salute to them as they beam away. So there we go. It really is a very, very brief moment, but the internet has been going bananas over it, and I think rightly so. There are a few things we know already about this crossover episode. First of all, we know that it's going to be directed, or has been directed rather, because they've already made it, by Jonathan Frakes. Now, Frakes obviously has a huge pedigree when it comes to directing Star Trek episodes, so I think we can expect fantastic things from him. We know, of course, it's going to be live action, which we've just seen, but we know a few things more now as well. We know, for example, Mike McMahon has been heavily involved in this episode to make sure that he and Akiva Goldsmith get the Lower Decks style tone throughout the whole episode. It's been stated very, very clearly this is going to be a fun episode. It's not going to be dark, it's not going to be serious. They're going to really have fun with it. So on top of that, we also know that whilst it's going to be live action, there will be animated moments. So we know this from a recent interview that Akiva Goldsmith did with SFX magazine here in the UK. So yeah, so if there's going to be animated moments and live action, they've said very clearly it's not going to be a Roger Rabbit type situation or Cool World, if you remember that movie, where you've got live action and then animated characters bopping about. So the fact that they've got live action and animated, this brings me on to my Batsh theory. I think what we're going to see is that Mariner and Boimler somehow accidentally, through a wormhole, through some kind of interspatial fluxing rifty thing where they reverse the polarity of the neutron flow to get through it, or insert techno babble here.
Inverse reactive current for use in unilateral phase detractors.
I think they're going to end up back on board the Enterprise with Pike, probably by accident. And I think they're going to react as, whoa, what's all this? It's almost like there's a third dimension.
Suppose we extend the square beyond the 2 dimensions of our universe along the hypothetical z-axis there.
And I think it's going to be implying, or maybe even stating, that this is an alternate universe, that their universe is in fact a cartoon universe, or animated universe if you prefer, and that, you know, this is really weird and strange and trippy being in this 3-dimensional. I think then where we see La'an and Pike on the transporter pad, I think they are going to visit the animated universe as well, so we're going to get to see them in animated form. And then they'll come back and it'll all be happy families at the end of it. That's my theory. I think we're going to have, Boimler and Mariner visiting the real physical world, and Pike and La'an visiting the animated world, or universes if you prefer, or dimensions, alternate realities, whatever you want to call them. That's my theory on this. Now, I absolutely can't wait for Lower Decks, I was going to say. Well, I can't wait for the Lower Decks crossover episode, but I do have to wait. But Strange New Worlds, it's going to be really, really exciting. It launches less than a month to go now. Season 2 launches June 15th. Very, very exciting. Now, assuming that the leaked episode titles were in fact genuine, then we also know that the Lower Decks crossover episode is going to be episode 7. So that is July the 27th. We can expect that one because it's coming in weekly, as we know. How do we know that episode 7 is going to be the Lower Decks crossover episode? Well, the title is Those Old Scientists, which of course references a line from Commander Ransom in Lower Decks.
TOS.
It's what I call the 2260s. Stands for Those Old Scientists.
So there we go. If you've enjoyed this video, go back and check out my breakdown of the Season 2 trailer, the big trailer that dropped. I go through moment by moment on that, analysing that. So do have a watch for that one. And of course, I'd dearly love it if you would like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit that bell so that you get the notifications when we drop a new video. And we're definitely going to be doing some review episodes of Strange New Worlds. I'm planning to do them the good, the bad, and the batch, because there'll be good things in those episodes. There'll be things that perhaps don't land quite so well, and there'll be things that are just out there. So I'll be looking at each episode and giving what I think is the high point, the low point, and the out there point as well. Well, thank you for joining me on this briefer video, but keep an eye out as well. I am going to be doing that review of the collection behind me as well, and also a uniform review. I have been asked to do some after my last video where I look at the episode titles that have dropped for Strange New World Season 2. I've been asked to do some Klingon Shakespeare. Now, I can't even compete with this link that I'm putting up here. I'll put a link below as well, where you get to be or not to be that whole speech done in Klingon. It is the most amazing thing ever. Do go out, give that a watch, give that channel a lot of love. I'm amazed that I've not seen it before now, because it is years and years and years old, but it's still worth watching to this day. So in the meantime, until next time, peace and long life, live long and prosper. Whoa.